How dare you!
They deleted my last upload.
Access denied.
They don't like that information being put out there. And an interesting thing that a lot of people probably noticed is that Donald Trump Jr. shared that video and had his account deactivated on Twitter. Incredible. The president's son, they actually suspended him on Twitter, I believe. And Donald Trump also tweeted that video and they deleted Donald Trump's tweet.
Are those fucking bricks? What the fuck are those?
Those look like bricks. Look, yeah, those are fucking bricks. What the fuck? They're collecting all the loose bricks so that the protesters don't fucking use them, dude. That's what they're doing. That, or they're doing that for undercover police officers that are getting involved in the protests so that they have an excuse to beat the shit out of people.
Organizers say the event was meant to protest against Twitter for banning certain tweets. The lead organizer, Philip Anderson, tweeted someone knocked his 2 front teeth out. Others said they were punched.
Get the fuck out of here, man! Get the fuck out! Fuck out of here, you're not welcome here, man. Get the fuck out!
Paramedics took this man to San Francisco General with right leg injuries.
Trump supporter. They assaulted me. Vote for Trump. You gotta vote these guys. They chased me. They kicked me for no reason. I'm from a Latin home. I married a Mexican woman. You can have your opinion. Move the fuck out the way. You don't have to move. And if you attack me, black lives don't matter. That's what matters. That's what you're saying. Attack you. You can't say black lives matter. Attack you. Keep coming at me. You can't say black lives matter. Bro. Okay, let me ask you. Find a solution together. You're not listening to people who yell, burn this down. Fight these people. You don't listen to them.
Just me versus this one radical Antifa or radical within the Black Lives Matter movement, and he's kicking the fence violently. He's kicking that fence, so I get in front of him. I say, stop, stop. And then some people started chanting for the courthouse to be burned down. So then I yelled out to all of you who live here in Portland, if you don't want your courthouse to be burned down, if you don't want your city to get burned down, then stand with me against this fence.
You want to push the fence and go down there. Get going! Get going!
So we'll have to prepare for the next one. That, I'd say is, will get attention this time.
A potential UK breakthrough in the search for a global vaccine.
Recovery rates skyrocket, revolutionizing the health industry. What a 10 years it's been.
People across the UK are working to make this future of health a reality for everyone.
Sleepy Joe actually falls asleep during a presidential debate. Wait for it. And he's out.
All of the people that you have to speak to, we have great Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and others. They can go faster than that by a lot. Become very political because the left...
Oh, hey, wait, I'm awake. What's going on? Where am I at? Oh, yeah. Prompter, where are you at? Fucking Christ.
$10 billion. I mean, just speak about the magnitude of that. That is by far the biggest commitment of the foundation, isn't it, Bill? I mean, this is by far the largest.
That's right. We've been spending a lot on vaccines. With this commitment, over 8 million additional lives will be saved. So it's one of the most effective ways that health in the poorest countries can be dramatically improved.
In January of 2010, Bill and Melinda Gates used the World Economic Forum at Davos to announce a staggering $10 billion commitment to research and develop vaccines for the world's poorest countries, kicking off what he called a decade of vaccines.
Today we're announcing a commitment over this next decade, which we think of as a decade of vaccines having incredible impact. We're announcing that we'll spend over $10 billion on vaccines.
Hailed by the Gates-funded media.
For the record, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is a NewsHour underwriter.
And applauded by the pharmaceutical companies who stood to reap the benefits of that largesse. The record-setting commitment made waves in the international community, helping to underwrite a global vaccine action plan coordinated by the Gates-funded World Health Organization. But contrary to the Gates' own PR spin that this $10 billion pledge was an unalloyed good and would save 8 million lives, the truth is that this attempt to reorient the global health economy was part of a much bigger agenda. An agenda that would ultimately lead to greater profits for big pharma companies, greater control for the Gates Foundation over the field of global health, and greater power for Bill Gates to shape the course of the future for billions of people around the planet. This is Bill Gates' plan to vaccinate the world. Given Gates' pledge to make this a decade of vaccines, it should come as no surprise that, since the dawn of this coronavirus crisis, he has been adamant that the world will not go back to normal until a vaccine has been developed.
But we're going to have this intermediate period of opening up, and it won't be normal until we get an amazing vaccine to the entire world. The vaccine is critical because until you have that, things aren't really going to be normal. They can open up to some degree, but the risk of a rebound will be there until we have very broad vaccination. They won't be back to normal until we either have that phenomenal vaccine or a therapeutic that's like over 95% effective. And so we have to assume that's going to be almost 18 months from now. And then the final solution, which is a year to 2 years off, is the vaccine. So we've got to go full speed ahead on all three fronts.
Just to head off the conspiracy theorists, maybe we shouldn't call the vaccine the final solution. Maybe just the best solution. Okay.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time. This is a movement like we've never seen in the history of our country.
Wisconsin is Trump country.
And that's what this fight is all about. We're taking on the failed political establishment and restoring government of, by, and for the people. It's the people. You're the people. You won the election.
We love this country. We love Donald Trump.
Promises made, promises kept.
We support President Trump.
This is epic.
Donald Trump is our president! With every last ounce of heart and hope and sweat and soul, we are going to make our stand. We are going to stand for liberty. We are going to stand for justice. We are going to stand for freedom. And we are going to stand for the sacred rights given to us by the hand of Almighty God. Thank you very much, everybody. This is very special. Charles Q, I like that. Q Brown Jr. Charles Q, I like that. Q Brown Jr. And your family is very proud of you. Your wife is very proud. Your sons are very proud.
They see it. But can you remember any Republican president going out there or former Democratic president, go find that guy and prosecute him? You ever hear that? Or, by the way, I'm being sued because a woman's accused me of rape. Represent me. Represent me. Personally represent me in the state of New York on my not allowing my tax returns. What's that all about? What is that about?
Got to take another break. We'll be right back.
Mission failed. We'll get Turn on CNN. That's all they cover. COVID, pandemic, COVID. You know why? They're trying to talk everybody out of voting. People aren't buying at CNN, you dumb bastards. They're not buying it.
As you know, there are Americans who are being evicted from their homes. They can't pay the rent. Many Americans are waiting in food lines for the first time in their lives. Can you look them in the eye, Madam Speaker, and explain why you don't want to accept the president's latest stimulus offer?
Well, because, thank you very much, Wolf, and I hope you'll ask the same question of the Republicans about why they don't really want to meet the needs of the American people. But let me say to those people, because all of my colleagues, we represent these people. I have for over 30 years represented my constituents. I know what their needs are. I listen to them, and their needs are not addressed in the president's proposal. So when you say to me, why don't you accept theirs? Why don't they accept ours? Because Mitch McConnell says let the states go bankrupt.
Excuse me for interrupting,
let the states go bankrupt.
Madam Speaker, but they really need the money right now, and even members of your own.
I understand that,
but even members of your own caucus. Even members of your own caucus, Madam Speaker, want to accept this deal. $1.8 trillion. Congressman Ro Khanna, for example. But let me just quote Ro Khanna, a man you know well. I assume you admire him. He's a Democrat. And he just said this. He said, people in need can't wait until February. $1.8 trillion is significant and more than twice the Obama stimulus. Make a deal. Put the ball in McConnell court. So what do you say to Ro Khanna?
What I say to you is, I don't know why you're always an apologist, and many of your colleagues apologists for the Republican position. Ro Khanna, that's nice. That isn't what we're going to do. We're talking about the consequences of a pandemic, the symptoms of a problem that the president refuses to address.
But you know,
and that is the coronavirus.
We know
that is
we
the
know
coronavirus.
The problem out there, but there are millions of Americans who have lost their jobs. They can't pay the rent. Their kids need the food.
That's right, and that's what we're trying to get done.
$1.8 trillion, and the president just tweeted, stimulus, go big or go home. He wants even more right now, so why not work out a deal with him, and don't let the perfect, as they say here in Washington, be the enemy of the good. Well, I will not let the wrong be the enemy of the right. What's wrong with $1.8 trillion? Do you have any idea of how
that's precisely why, Madam Speaker, short they're concerned?
That's why it's so important right now. Yesterday I spoke to Andrew Yang, who says the same thing. It's not everything you want,
but you know what?
There's a lot there.
Honest to God, you really, I can't get over it, because Andrew Yang, he's lovely. Ro Khanna, he's lovely. They are not negotiating this situation. They have no idea of the particulars. They have no idea of what the language is here. I didn't come over here to have... So you're the apologist for the Obama... Excuse me. God forbid.
Madam Speaker,
I'm
not an apologist. I'm asking you serious questions. So many people...
Well, it is what it is because he who is who he is. He who is who he is.
He who is who he is?
Well, it is what it is because he who is who he is.
Finish him. Is Joe Biden okay?
He who's who he is.
What does that even mean? What is that? Are you okay, Joe?
My grandpop was named Ambrose Finnegan. At kitchen table I learned. I used to say, Joey, nobody's better than you, but you're no better than anybody else. Maybe it's the Scranton in me. I got a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. Worried about whether they can make next month's mortgage payment. Well, it is what it is because he is who he is. That's why it is what it is. He is who he is.
Nothing I wouldn't eat or wouldn't drink or wouldn't try. If the person okayed it, I would eat a human. If you were at a very fancy restaurant and they were like a tiny piece of human meat.
No. I think the only way
you wouldn't try a tiny bite?
No.
Really?
Absolutely not.
Is that terrible?
Just pick it out, read it, and answer.
Public place, you did it. Is this the best or the worst? What did you do?
The best.
Okay, the best. Probably the Obama thing.
What? John, what's it? Oh God.
Oh God.
John.
What?
What is your wife talking about?
I don't know.
We heard Obama in there.
We should get back in. What happened?
We're not going to discuss that.
We're not going to discuss it?
We're not. We're not.
Okay. Oh my God. Secret Service. Come here, jump back in.
Hi.
Look at John. Look at, I don't.
Hi.
We're not talking about it. That's the truth.
That is an awesome answer.
Not the White House.
Not the,
it was not
It
the
was
White
not
House.
at the White House.
100% not at the White House. I promise
He was
you.
not elected yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, we're moving on.
I'm sorry. I'm in trouble now.
Chrissy Teigen and John Legend were accused by far-right activist Liz Crokin of being a part of the Pizzagate scandal. According to Gizmodo.com, on Saturday, Teigen posted that she was pretty disturbed at how quickly Crokin's unfounded accusation that the celebrity couple was trafficking their child in a satanic DC pedophile ring had spread on the site. Fans thought it was a ridiculous Twitter war, but were entertained by it nonetheless.
Called Flight to Nowhere, raising some serious questions tonight. 4 hours into a Tokyo-bound flight from Los Angeles, the crew realizing a passenger had boarded the wrong plane.
The pilot then turning back. Supermodel Chrissy Teigen and her husband, musician John Legend, were on board that flight, live tweeting the midair security scare. ABC's Matt Gutman reports.
Tonight, the FBI is investigating how a pair of brothers with a single boarding pass got on Flight 175 from Los Angeles to Tokyo. The mistake only detected 2,000 miles into the flight when a head count revealed the extra passenger. You can see the flight's boomerang path leaving LAX at about noon and hooking right back to LAX, arriving just after 7:30. The All Nippon Airways flight sequestered in a secure part of the airport, they discovered that a pair of brothers with nearly identical names allegedly used the same boarding pass. One of them did have a legitimate ticket for Flight 175, while the other had a real ticket to Tokyo also, but with a partner airline, United.
Thank you so much for taking me on this awesome vacation, babe.
Welcome to Los Angeles. One of the passengers on board, a very bemused supermodel, Chrissy Teigen. She was traveling with her husband, John Legend, tweeting, "Why did we all get punished for this one person's mistake? Why not just land in Tokyo and send the other person back? How is this the better idea, you ask? We all have the same questions." The airline partially answering that question in a statement today. As part of the airline security procedure, the pilot in command decided to return to the originating airport where the passenger was disembarked. Ultimately, it would cost passengers an extra 8 hours in the air and a total delay of over 15 hours.
Well, I'm mostly tired and pretty angry.
The FBI still hasn't decided whether or not to press charges against these two brothers. But facing stiff questions will be the airline. ANA still has to answer how it allowed a passenger on board with a duplicate boarding card and why it didn't conduct an accurate head count of all the passengers on board before the flight was well underway. The airline could face some significant fines. Matt Gutman, ABC News.
Kid crush. At 9 years old, nominee Quvenzhané Wallis was absolutely adorable at the 2013 Oscars, but Tegan was not impressed. She took to her usual platform about it and wrote, "I am forced to like Quvenzhané Wallis because she's a child, right? Okay, fine." Naturally, a lot of folks took the tweet as cyberbullying of a little kid, which didn't earn Tegan any cool points that day and proved that her hubby John Legend is pretty much the only person who's off limits for her mean tweets. We all know far too much about Tegan's sex life with husband John Legend. We could compile an entire list of reasons why, but for now, we'll narrow it down a bit. In one of her tamer moments, she revealed in Cosmopolitan's June 2014 issue that she and Legend are members of the Mile High Club, boasting, "We were on our way to Thailand to see my parents, flying commercial first class. We were under a blanket. We weren't even in one of those pod things. I feel like we should get a trophy for that. We're by no means freaky-deaky, but let's just say we're open to things." Yuck. She's also boiled down the specifics on odd places she and Legend have hooked up and how he likes her to wear dresses so he can feel her up at restaurants. Hey, sharing is caring. Her weirdest strategy in life.
The third week of every month, I have to walk up a staircase with a crab shell full of rice.
That is not true.
It's good luck, Jimmy.
Tegan never turns down a photo op, but when she posed with Legend on the red carpet at the Grammys in 2015, it was a bit much for her. In between smiles for photos, she flipped out and cursed at photographers. She did the same thing at the 2015 Billboard Music Awards that May. With that kind of reaction, you might suspect she didn't make a living from being in front of the cameras or something.
Farmhouse documentaries.
How dare you!